Right now what I'm going to be doing is mixing 45-minute joint compound along with plaster, and we're going to make kind of a crumbly mix. Mixing it into the water, we're going to make a paste, and we're going to trowel that on our edges to make a chiseled edge. Works really well. Just remember, we're mixing this with water, so you will have to let it fully cure. You don't want it just to harden. Just because this bag will help this set up in 45 minutes doesn't mean that the moisture content's out. So we're doing it today so it can cure all night for 24 hours. Now that I have a good amount of product down the countertop, down my edge, I'm using a little bit of excess on my knife to actually add more. And then as it starts thickening up, I can come back and really shape this with my hands. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna take a little bucket of water, and this is just setting up what I troweled on the edge, but you don't want something this sharp protruding through when you pour epoxy, something that would be difficult to clean or anything like that. So I am gonna come back through by hand and water and just kind of massage this into the shape that I want. So now we're coming back, and I'm using a variable speed DeWalt buffer here with just a 140 grit sanding disc on it. You could use a regular DA sander or just about anything else for this. Even a hand sanding block, it just might be slow. And what I'm gonna be doing is coming around and just trying to smooth up and create like a nice profile for the epoxy to pour over the edge of the chiseled edge I just troweled the other day. It doesn't take a lot of time, just go nice and slow. And just remember, this is the last chance you're gonna have to actually change any little profile. You may even have a few little spots to patch with Bondo, so I did bring Bondo today. When you're bonding the actual joint compound right to the edge of porcelain or ceramic tile, it doesn't bond really well until your epoxy goes over it. So just be kind of careful right now during this phase so you don't knock a bunch of chunks off while you're sanding. So I did just finish sanding all the edges, and I did knock off 2 little spots. So I'm just gonna mix up some Bondo and patch those right back in. It'll cure really fast. Bondo's not always the best product to use in the first place to do all the chiseled edges. Even though it bonds really well, it's pretty difficult to work with. So it's good for a patch, a little bit more difficult unless you're very experienced with Bondo to do a full chiseled edge. But right now, I'm just gonna patch in a few spots. It should be just fine.